The darkness seems so strong, and you just can't go on. Pray for your helping hand. You'll see the sun will rise again. You'll find the strength to carry on up to heaven where you belong. 'Cause life is but a journey for us all.
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers around the world. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Building a Better Future. I'm your host, Malik Evangelatos, and I'm here with our Sheikh all the way from the Colorado Muslim Society from Denver, Colorado, Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. You've seen him on the Inevitable Journey. You've seen him on the Righteous Companions, and you've seen him on the Stories of Hajj. You've also seen him online at www.karimabuzzaid.com, on YouTube at IslamWay71, and most importantly on www.huda.tv. And most importantly now, he's with us on Building a Better Future. This episode is for all you parents, for mothers, for fathers, for future mothers and future fathers. This episode is Sheikh is teaching us how to raise up a good generation of new empowered Muslims. We've talked about instilling taqwa into the children, about many, many beautiful attributes. So what we want you to do now before we get started is open up the Musaf, open up Surat An-Nur, to the chapter of light, verses 46 through verse 57. Read it. Read the tafsir of Ibn Kathir. Go online if you don't have it. Read chapter 5, verse 54. These are our tools. Sheikh Karim, thank you again for being here with us. It's a pleasure, as usual, to have you. Thank you so much.
Jazakallahu khairan, Malik.
Jazakum, thank you for your time.
Inna alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. Just a reminder that the verses that you refer to are the base of what we building the whole series on. The verse number 55, which talks about that empowered generation. Now we are talking about the attributes of that generation. I believe today we want to talk about patience. Bidnillahi ta'ala. Patience.
General term, it's a big word.
Patience. I encourage the parents to repeat that word over and over and over again to their children. And they repeat it to themselves too. Because if they are impatient, the children will not be patient. Period. Patience is the key that the generation must hold. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about the children of Israel in Surah Al-A'raf, I believe Surah number 7, He says this after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved them from bondage. He saved them from bondage, from slavery. They crossed the Red Sea, away from the Pharaoh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَوْرَثْنَا الْقَوْمَ الَّذِينَ كَانُوا يُسْتَضْعَفُونَ مَشَارِقَ الْأَرْضِ وَمَغَارِبَهَا الَّتِي بَارَكْنَا فِيهَا. And we make those people who were oppressed inherit the east and the west of earth, which we blessed. وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ الْحُسْنَى عَلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ بِمَا صَبَرُوا. And this was the decree of Allah a long time ago. But the children of Israel were able to receive it because of their patience. بِمَا صَبَرُوا. Even when the people enter Jannah, listen to this verse. أَفَمَنْ يَعْلَمُ أَنَّ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ الْحَقُّ كَمَنْ هُوَ أَعْمَى إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. Are those who know that what was revealed to you, O Muhammad, is the truth, equal to those who are blind? Indeed, those who will be reminded by these verses are the people of understanding. Who are the people of understanding? Those who fear Allah. Allah mentioned so many attributes. Establish the salah. They pay zakah. They spend and they meet the evil with good. And then at the end Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, هذا في سورة الرعد, in سورة الرعد. أولئك يدخلون الجنة, those will enter Jannah.
Okay.
And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions one quality because of their patience. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ يَدْخُلُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ بَابٍ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِمَا صَبَرْتُمْ. You know what the angels are going to say to them? Peace be unto you because of your patience in the dunya. Even so, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, this is like almost a half a page in Surah Al-Ra'd, mentioned so many qualities. الَّذِينَ يَخْشَوْنَ رَبَّهُمْ وَيَخَافُونَ سُوءَ الْحِسَابِ. Those who fear Allah and they fear the day of resurrection. الَّذِينَ يُوفُونَ بِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ وَلَا يَنْقُضُونَ الْمِيثَاقِ. And those who fulfill the promise of Allah and they do not break their promises, they do not breach their covenant. And those who spend, وَالَّذِينَ أَنفَقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ سِرًّا وَعَلَانِيَةً وَيَدْرَؤُونَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ السَّيِّئَةِ, and so forth. And then at the end Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, the angels, in the tongue of the angels, peace be unto you because you are patient. Therefore, Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, he says this, إِنَّ مَنْزِلَةِ الصَّبْرِ مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ كَمَنْزِلَةِ الرَّأْسِ مِنَ الْجَسَدِ. Faith in relation to patience, imagine faith to be the body and patience is the head.
Oh, wow.
And then he calls and he says, أَلَا إِنَّهُ لَا إِيمَانَ لِمَنْ لَا صَبْرَ لَهُ. Indeed, there is no iman, faith, for someone who does not have patience. Why? I really want the viewers to comprehend this, because I want them, I want this quality, this attribute is a key. Is a key. Why? What is iman? What is faith? What is the definition of faith? Believe in the heart, pronouncing it with the tongue. You say, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله, and you implement with the rest of
your body, actions.
Iman, تصديق, قول, عمل. Three. تصديق, the heart believes, the heart firms, no doubt here, لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول, no doubt. إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا. Indeed, the believers are those who believe in Allah and His Messenger and they never doubted. That is why we call this what? Malik, Aqidah.
This is Aqidah. Oh.
You know the word Aqidah?
Yeah, I don't know the meaning of it. I know what it means.
The linguistic meaning of the word Aqidah, a knot. You know the knot?
Ah, yes.
You tie something, and you pull.
Yeah.
You never open it. You never doubt. Iman. And then as a result of this, you stand in front of people.
And you speak the truth.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. Also you show it. You show it, you don't hide it. My name is Muhammad. My name is Karim Abu Zaid. My name is Malik.
With pride and confidence and joy.
Yes, I'm a Muslim. Look at me, I'm a Muslim. Now, shahada is you make people witness that, not just with the tongue.
Right.
Also with your son, the sisters. Not the scarf, again I stress, not the hijab is not just
We're going to get into this, inshallah.
We're going to come to this. The hijab is not just a scarf. You see women now wearing a scarf and she's wearing a tight jeans.
Oh, and
Give me a break. I mean, what is this?
I get you.
We're
going to get into this,
This is beside the point.
Okay.
So, shahada, and then you act with the limbs. Salah, masjid, al-jama'ah, al-fard, nafila in your house, no problem. Tahajjud in your house, no problem.
Okay.
Salah, sawm, zakah, and so forth. طيب. This is the definition. Look, there's another addition to that definition. يزيد بالطاعة وينقص بالمعصية. Iman, by the way, fluctuates.
With action.
Increases if you obey Allah, goes down when you disobey Allah. Imagine Iman to be a thermostat.
Yeah. Measuring the temperature.
That measure the temperature. When you pray, your Iman what?
It rises.
Rises. That is when you're able to afford handling the hardships and the calamity. Why did Allah subhanahu يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة. O you who believe, seek help in patience and salah.
There's our word again, patience.
What is it? Patience and salah? You see, patience, salah will kick your iman up so that you're charged to be patient.
Because if our temperature is low and then something strikes us with a calamity,
You're not going to handle it.
We're not ready for it.
You're not ready.
Yeah.
You're not ready. Why? الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة. Those when they are hit by a calamity, they are instructed to say what? إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Remember Allah. حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل. Seeking refuge. فالإيمان increases and decreases. And Ibn Kathir رحمه الله الحافظ, he said this. عفوا الإمام البخاري رحمه الله, he said this. I have met 1,000 من علماء الأمصار, from the scholars of this ummah, but all of them agreed that iman, defining iman, is قول وعمل, is actions and saying, and the heart is engaged with your saying and with your action, increases with obedience, decreases
with disobedience.
When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about the companions of the cave, إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم وزدناهم هدى. They were young men, youth, who believed in Allah, and we increased them.
We increased in them because of their belief.
Because of their belief.
But Sheikh, where are we going as a community now? How will it benefit me as a parent, as a mother and father, or us as a community as a whole, by instilling patience in the children?
Well, again, I want to tell you, iman increases and decreases. Okay? Why? Obedience. Disobedience. What this has to do with patience? There are 3 types of patience, and I think we have to stop. I see some signals here, but let me just mention them quickly.
Okay.
And then connect them with iman. You see, I want to connect iman with patience. Why?
Okay.
Why iman and patience are tied with one another. You see, there are 3 types of patience. الصبر على المأمور. You're patient once it comes to the commands of Allah. Do pray.
And do it.
Being patient about doing it. Because we're going to have to do it every day.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not going to pray one day and quit.
Yeah, take a day off.
الصبر عن المحظور. That you're patient to stay away from the haram.
Okay.
That needs patience too.
Yeah, it does.
If you like to be high, that needs patience to stay away from the high stuff.
Of course.
And then being patient once it comes to what Allah decreed upon you. And inshallah, maybe after the break we can explain.
Okay, we'll get back to that. You heard it from Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, same time, same channel.
Up to heaven, heaven where I belong.
Welcome to Tech Talk. I'm your host, Omar Shear. This season of Tech Talk, we will focus specifically on the internet.
A student would type their paper, and instead of handing me a hard copy of their paper, they would upload it to this learning system, this e-learning system.
I have some great experience when it comes to technology, and in particular, internet technology. Call to action is something that we do in our day-to-day lives, and maybe we don't realize it. Now we want to discuss, after you have a product and you have a website and you have a way to communicate with your customers, which would be your email marketing system, now it's time to take the money from the customer.
Up to heaven, heaven where I belong.
Dear viewers, Haykum Allah, and welcome back to the second segment of another great episode of Building a Better Future. Sheikh Karim, we were talking about in the last episode patience, and you said there was 3 different types of patience, and we're talking about instilling them in the future generation.
The scholars, alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulullah, have defined patience and identified 3 types of patience. patient once it comes to the commands of Allah. Pray. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what in the Quran? وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا. Command your household to pray and be patient. Because again, you're going to ask this child to pray 5 times every day.
There's no days off, no weekends.
No. So you must step, and that is why we were commanded as parents to train them early, to be patient once it comes to this. You have to be patient. Every year you have to fast that month of Ramadan.
Takes patience.
You have no choice. So, sabr ala al-ma'mur. And if you are patient once it comes to doing the regular deeds, that means you're going to maintain a certain level of your iman.
At least a minimum level.
Yes.
That's
You got
above
it?
the danger zone.
You see, that's why there is a relationship between, that's why Ali ibn Abi Talib said, patience and faith is like head and body.
Right.
If you do not have patience, you're not going to have iman, because being patient once it comes to what you're commanded to do, the obligatory, the mandatory acts of the religion, will maintain a certain level for you, that because if you go beneath that level,
Danger.
danger, you can drift away.
Yeah, easy.
You can go away easy. Then comes in the second type, that you stay away from the haram. وَالصَّبْرُ عَنِ الْمَحْذُورِ. Riba is haram, usury is haram. All of us, we love wealth. Riba is a way, just go and talk nice to a banker and get a loan.
Yeah, right.
And then at the end of the day, you're going to end up with a couple of $1,000s in your bank account. But it's haram. It's haram. Now, how can you be patient not to acquire wealth from that source? We have to instill this in our children. Okay? And then comes in another piece which is so important, and I think this has to do with the concept of al-qadr, which is one of the tenets of our faith, of our iman, which is that you are patient once it comes to what Allah decreed upon you.
Even if it's something that appears to be a disaster for you, unfair.
And just.
How can we do this without patience? It's impossible.
This is something that I think that's where the challenge is with a lot of parents. Children, for example, they go and they end up seeing another family which is so wealthy.
Right.
And the child then comes home and crying and saying, I want to have what this child has. And I know these days it's easy, but in some families they may not be able to acquire this. My son, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed that some people are to be wealthy, well off, and some people are not. Alhamdulillah, our means are this. We should be happy with what we have. Just enjoy what you have and think about Jannah. Okay? In Jannah, my son, you're going to have, your child, for example, goes to public school and he sees a child wearing, you're wearing a golden watch.
Right.
A pure gold.
Yeah, he wants one.
Or a golden necklace.
Yeah.
Or an earrings.
This is popular in the Western countries.
Popular in the Western. My son were Muslims, and Rasul ﷺ told us that if you wear this in the dunya, you're not going to have it in Jannah. Don't you want to have it in Jannah? In Jannah, you're going to have it. That's right. So you have, as a parent, you have to develop, the mentality of your child best, but you have to develop the concept of Jannah. Allah decreed this upon it, and it may be good. It may be good, and so forth. So you have to use sometimes analogy, sometimes. But again, I think the qadr, once it comes to this area in particular, getting your child to understand the names and the attributes of Allah will help you a whole lot. One of the names and the attributes of Allah is Al-Hakim, the All-Wise. Allah has a lot of wisdom. Why didn't Allah give this to you? Because Allah has wisdom.
There is a wisdom behind it.
There is a wisdom behind it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this in the Quran, وَلَوْ بَسَطَ اللَّهُ رِزْقَ لِعِبَادِهِ لَبَغَوْا فِي الْأَرْضِ. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would bestow His wealth upon people the way that they want, they will transgress in earth. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَيَطْغَىٰ أَن رَآهُ اسْتَغْنَىٰ. Indeed, mankind will transgress as soon as they feel like they are self-sufficient in a way. Again, patience is a concept that has to be taught in action. And by the way, Malika, and I really wanted you to, and the viewers to grasp this. these attributes, especially patience and forbearance and renouncing, and some of them, some of these attributes, you have to work on it.
Okay, you have to build it up, so to speak.
You see, once the scholars looked into the attributes, they classified them, categorized them into two types. One type that you're born with. There are people who are born with patience, regardless of what is patient.
And there's some people just so impatient.
And there are some people who are so impatient.
Yeah, right.
Now, those who are so impatient, they cannot say, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not patient. No. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, وَمَنْ يَتَصَبَّرْ يُصَبِّرْهُ اللَّهُ. And whoever strives to be patient, Allah will make him patient. Allah will help him to be patient. You understand? So, some qualities that you're born with.
And some you have
if Allah
to acquire.
subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with a child who is patient, alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. But if your child is impatient, you need to tell them, okay, you need to be patient. Okay,
Right.
your child is going to panic. Okay, be patient. Be patient.
It's not an excuse to say, oh,
No.
this child is too impatient, I can't deal
No,
with him.
no, that is
Right.
not an excuse.
Okay.
That is not, because a lot of Muslims, they come and say, it's like somebody who loses his temper in Ramadan.
Yes, which we see a lot.
And then he comes and he tells you, I'm sorry, I'm fasting. What do you mean you're fasting? You're supposed to hold your temper.
Yeah, right. By the way, the fasting helps the temper and it helps develop patience, I found too. Yeah.
No, I just want to say that
Yeah.
that's not an excuse.
Yeah, right,
They
right.
tell you, I'm sorry, I'm fasting. I mean, the Prophet ﷺ told you, if you're fasting, then
Hold-
you're supposed not to do this.
Yeah,
So
right.
this should be more of a reason for you to stop. So the same exact thing, because a lot of Muslims, a lot of children, my son is very impatient. No, this does not mean that you have to leave this alone. No,
Right.
you have to work on it. Be patient.
It needs more work.
Yes, be
Yeah.
patient. You just have to work on it. You just be patient, be
Okay.
patient, and be patient. And mention the stories of people who were patient. يعني imagine Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam. يعني read his story. He spent 950 years calling people to Islam.
Imagine.
I mean, 950 years calling people to Islam.
Imagine,
You know,
yeah.
and especially if we're trying to develop leaders.
And this is a key for the next
Imams.
generation,
Yes.
of course, yeah.
We're missing leaders. We're missing imams. We don't have imams.
No
in the
direction.
Ummah. We don't have imams in the Ummah. Look, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about the children of Israel, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا لَمَّا صَبَرُوا Surah Al-Sajdah وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. And we made out of them imams because they were patient.
We made them imams.
لَمَّا صَبَرُوا When they developed patience. And they were certain of our promises.
This
our
is the
patience.
fruits of a patient generation, you
Yes.
could say.
Well, we have to have a patient generation, a generation that's steady. Because
Consistent.
Empowerment is not a day and night. It may take a long time.
Like you said, 40 years, we say the Musa.
40 years.
Right.
Imagine the companions, they spent 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years in Mecca, what they went through in Mecca. And at the hands of the kuffar, the disbelievers. Huh? And all what they're commanded to do is what? Patience.
Patience. Stay patient.
ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. الآية وإن عاقبتم فعاقبوا بمثل ما عوقبتم به ولئن صبرتم لهو خير للصابرين. واصبر. Be patient.
Allah is testing us.
Be
guys.
patient. Yes. Yes. You see, you will not be able to be empowered in earth unless you're patient.
This is the key.
And people who are patient, they will receive their reward tremendously in this dunya and in the akhirah as well. إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. So if we want to succeed, my dear viewers, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, if we want to succeed, Malik, we must instill in our children patience, and we must develop some tools to go about
Doing this.
And we have to show patience ourselves as parents. We have to show patience ourselves as imams.
Right.
We have to show patience ourselves as leaders of communities. We have to show patience ourselves as principals of schools. Whoever is in the work of Islam, they have to show patience and they have to practice it for the children to see it.
They are our role models, we can say.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Sheikh, we've talked about taqwa, being humble, living the law. Now we've talked about patience. What next? Ihsan. Okay. So this next episode, inshallah, we can address this topic?
Yeah. لا تمكين بغير إحسان.
Excellent.
You will never be empowered without إحسان.
This is a verse or a hadith?
No, that's a statement that I made. But,
okay, this is what you're saying. We'll never be...
But I will prove to you from the Quran as well.
In the next episode, inshallah.
In the next episode, that without ihsan, you cannot be empowered.
Okay. Thank you, Karim Abu Zaid, for your time. I'm really enjoying myself being with you. Dear viewers, stay tuned, especially you parents, like we said, mothers, fathers, future fathers. Stay tuned to the next episode of Building a Better Future. Sheikh Karim is giving us tips on how to raise our children. It's only benefiting you and the ummah, the whole nation as well, inshaAllah. Until next time, I leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And when the darkness seems so strong and you just can't go on, pray for your helping hand. You'll see the sun will rise again. You'll find the strength to carry on up to heaven where you belong. 'Cause life is but a journey for us all. We cry, we laugh, we run, sometimes we fall. But through it all, always recall, God never gives a burden too tall.